Good morning, everybody. We have a multi-day severe threat on our hands here, and I'm Tim Ailer. Welcome to Tim Ailer Weather, and I'm here to talk to you about this severe weather threat and excessive rainfall threat for the deep south, right? Starting today, okay, with a tornado threat, marginal tornado threat here, wind threat as well, moving all the way from Dallas, Texas, near Dallas, Texas, to just west central Georgia here. And the biggest threat today is hail, with hail approaching 2 inches of diameter here, right? So going into tomorrow, when we go back to the categorical risk, we have a risk here of a large slight risk, right? Then enhanced risk up into Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, near Chicago, right? And this is driven by hail, and we have potential for 2 inch hail in the southern portion of this area, and up in the northern portion of this area, exceeding 2 inches of diameter. Winds, not expecting severe, we are expecting severe winds, but not anything over 50 miles per hour, at least right now. Maybe maybe a little bit higher than 50, but no sig level here. Okay, hail. We talked about that. We got the 2 inches diameter tornadoes, strong tornadoes up to EF2 or higher, especially in the northern part of this area, okay, and southern part of this area. Although this is the highest percentage, 15%, and then moving up to day 3, okay. The probabilistic, we have a general 15% risk spanning all the way from Louisiana up to Pennsylvania here, and points eastward, as you can see on the map here, with a larger marginal risk. As far as excessive rainfall for today, we have this large marginal risk spanning from western Georgia into parts of northern Georgia, most of Alabama, Mississippi, and back into Texas. So that's today, it's where that severe threat is as well. And then we have this area still marginal risk of excessive rainfall here in generally the same area tomorrow, just a little bit further south. And then the day after, which is Wednesday, you see where this heavy rainfall potential is, right? So quite a lot of rain as well in the coming days. So you're probably wondering what's driving the severe threat. I know this looks kind of wonky here, but we got the 500 millibar flow here of vorticity, and we start this back out to the west here. We got our mid-level feature moving through the flow, right? And we had disturbance moving through the southeast. This mid-level feature gets entangled a little bit with the trough, and right towards the end of this run, it turns into a more coherent system, right? You see the short wave moving offshore here as well. Anyway, this system eventually phases with this trough to the north, and will push a cold front through the southeast. So one of the drivers behind the severe weather in the next 3 days that we showed at the start of the video is instability in the atmosphere. And this may be a little overdone, but you can see the high values in red and orange here as we get towards Thursday, right? Up in the reds and yellows, streaming all the way up into the northern part of the Midwest here. All right, so anywhere where we have Cape values, over 1,000 at least, or higher, especially up here to the north. Like I said, the RFS says A, maybe a little overdone with this. I think that's a little bit high, right? But this is kind of relatable to temperatures, but in dew points. So look at that real quick here. So whenever you have dew points that are approaching 60 degrees or higher, which his model shows all the way up into the Midwest and the deep south, you have fuel to for storms of fire, right? And then if you have different disturbances that move through the flow within this regime, and you have favorable shear vectors, you could get severe weather, and that's exactly what's happening in the next 3 days or so. You see temperatures here, how warm they are, and then they cool off some, but warm up pretty quickly on the backside of this system, right? 60s, 70s, going all the way up into the Midwest. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, even warmer here, right? And cooling off some briefly as that front pushes through. All right, so the next 3 days is going to be very warm, muggy, and rainy for a good portion of the eastern U.S. As we get a more detailed look at the severe weather threat and rainfall threat, one thing I wanted to show you all was the getting ahead of myself here, but the moisture, right, associated with the excessive rainfall for today. You can see where the heaviest rainfall is squarely in the middle of Alabama today, right? Tomorrow, the threat shifts back to the west here as that mid-level feature moves through the flow, okay, with the highest rainfall potential here into Texas, all the way up to Chicago, up into the Great Lakes area, and some backside moisture here as well, potential snowfall here. And then the threat shifts further to the east here on Wednesday, along with the severe threat, right? Flooding potential spans all the way from Houston, Texas, all the way up into Maine here in the higher terrain, especially. Okay, let's take a look at the snowfall as well. As far as day 1 through 3 snow amounts, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the highest snow amounts really in the northern tier of the U.S. here, right, for day 1. Way back here in North Dakota, Montana, and Washington State. Moving further to the east here, although not very high impact areas here except out west here. So this is more of a overall impact. Let's take its snow amounts here. Snow amounts are the highest out west here and into Canada for day 1. Day 2, maybe some snow again out here into greater than 4 inches, right? So pretty high chance of heavy snow out here as well. I know this isn't a high impact event, but I wanted to give some love to the snow lovers here. Not much snow expected for the continental U.S., right? So let's try, that's greater than 4 inches. That's the highest that we got. Freezing rain potential, not much on the map here. So what we're going to do now is review the different couple of short-range models here, right? And this is the Rufus model, okay? We go back the beginning of this today, shower and thunderstorms moving through parts of Mississippi, Alabama today, right? And this is where our severe threat is today as well. Okay, we go back to this. Let's look at the severe threat here real quickly, review it, right? That's where our severe threat is. So here we go, right? That moves to the east, potentially bringing some heavy rainfall, hail, tornadoes. Kind of a messy setup here, but down to the south here, especially if we get some some discrete cells. Looks like almost like an MCS type feature moving through the flow here, right? As we get into Tuesday, 7 a.m., right? So out west we have our mid-level feature. To the north we have colder air poised to dip to the south here. Developing system here, right? We got our low pressure developing, and we have this line of storm move through Texas, parts of Arkansas, and points to the north here, Oklahoma City, and up in the Chicago area to start off with. To the north we got snow on the northern side of this, all right? And you have these storms ahead of in this line over here, and different storms within the flow here as well. You see the cold front starting to take shape here. Pretty intense bands of snow up here to the north, just to the north of the continental U.S. On the backside, potential snow on the backside here in places that had severe weather before that. And maybe another low developing on the front side of this trough, okay, as that moves through. Pretty intense band potentially moving through the southeast as well on Thursday. So at 8 a.m. And you see this backside snow here. And we'll review this as well. We'll see on the other models if they're showing this, okay? But a pretty south and north flow here as we get towards the end of this model run at Thursday at 2 p.m. We don't want to forget about the west coast here either, with potential heavy rain and snow out west streaming onshore here as we get into Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So a pretty zonal flow here, bringing just different bands of rain through the northwest through Thursday. We compare the Rufus to the NAM. Okay, the NAM has these storms moving through the southeast. Well, today, right? There's complex of storms moving through during the severe weather area, and then wants to develop more storms into Texas along these boundaries here, and snow to the north. And if you remember, the severe threat for tomorrow is in this area, right? So going back to this here, warm air to the north, all the way up into the Midwest, right? Overrunning precip with snow here, okay, on the backside. Gets kind of messy here with a line of storms developing, and maybe more severe weather in the southern portion of this area, right? And out west, of course, we're showing the snowfall. So let's go to a little bit longer range model. GFS, see what it shows with this system as it moves to the east. Doesn't show any snow on the backside, okay? But all agree pretty much on the same scenario, but there's still some different things to be worked out with that. Go to the European here, see what it shows real quickly. Yeah, it does show a little bit of backside snow. Okay, so we'll have to see how that plays out. As we go briefly into the extended here, northern stream energy is dominating the flow, at least for a little while, up until Saturday the 14th, which is this weekend. So after that, we get into the long range, and we'll discuss that in another video. That's all I got for today, guys. Stay safe out there. We have a very active next 3 days or so. If you live in any of those severe weather areas, please be safe and heed the warnings and watches that come up from the National Weather Service. Hope you all have a great day, and God bless.